Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Well, today I'm going to do a usage test on the Cold Steel SRK and SK5. I have sharpened this. I haven't changed the grind angle. I just polished out the edge is all I've done to it. And love this knife. Now, what I'm going to be using here is, I think this is a piece of maple, but I'm not sure. So that's what we're going to be using for this test. I am going to beat this through this piece of wood and we're going to see what happens. So let's beat on this knife a little, see how the finish holds up. Oh, see if it's got any strong points, weak points, anything like that. Let's see what happens. It's a hard piece of wood. I'm gonna have to move my block so I can get a little more room to smack on this thing. Oh, that was pretty easy. That saber grind helps a lot when batoning. That end had a check in it. Let's go this end. Now, I've already found one thing that I see it's interesting, and I'll show you that here in a second. Really? That's enough. Sorry. There was a random leaf rolling across the yard and the dogs decided to bark at it. Now this is interesting. I did a video doing field use, pretty much the same stuff, on the True knife, where I talked about the finish after beating it through a block of wood. Now, just that little bit on both sides, right on that shoulder, it's already rubbed the finish off. Not that it matters. I'm eventually probably going to strip the finish off of it and just put a force patina on that anyways. But still, the other knife, after beating it through a piece of wood, didn't lose any of its finish. Now, granted, it's a different kind of finish. The handle was very comfortable during that. I didn't feel any shock back through the handle. I have seen videos where over time the handle on these come loose, and one guy said they rattle. I don't feel any looseness yet. In my previous video on the S.R.K, the S.R.K or SK5 steel is the equivalent of American 1080 steel. So far, I haven't seen any issues with edge retention, and I've whittled quite a bit with it. Not doing bad on curls. Here, get off there. So we'll round this out a little. Okay. See about a notch. No issues there. There's no issues with that. I know it's not designed as a chopping knife because of the weight, but it doesn't do too bad. Got to get way back on the handle though. these. Stump's getting rotten. You can tell a pretty good thickness there, a little over a ½ inch, closer to 3/4 probably. Got that one little bundle there. Let's see what I can do here. Hey Willie, watch it. Well, that's impressive. Even after all of that, it still shaved the hair off your arm. Handle doesn't have any hot spots. It controls shock from batoning very, very well. As in the other one, the True, beating on the back edge of this handle back here, I don't know if that would eventually cause the steel to beat through or not. You would think it would. I'm not going to try it and find out. This one, as you saw in the previous video on it, even though the blade's coated, it will still strike a ferrule rod. So let's see if we can use that and get the fire going. Uh-oh. And there we go. So we were able to do that. Now this is another budget knife. I gave, I think, $49 for this one at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. So it puts it in that budget category, or what I consider a budget category. To me, budget is anything between $25 and $75. Once you start getting up over 100, I don't consider that to be budgeted anymore, and I'd say most people would agree with me. A $170 knife is not a budget knife. But let's talk about this for a second. All right, for about $5 more than the True, you can get this high carbon steel instead of stainless. Like I said, it's pretty much the equivalent of our 1080, so between 1075 and 1095 steel. From what I have seen so far, it holds an edge extremely well. Even after batoning it through, making the shavings, notches and all of that, it would still shave the hair off of my arm. So that I'm pleased with. The finish, as you can see, the finish did not hold up as good on this one as it did on the True. Now they're two completely different types of finish. This finish is on the outside of the blade. It's kind of a epoxy style finish, I guess. It's not as rough as an SE or a Tops. It's a whole lot smoother. But as you can see, just batoning it through at one log and the finish started coming off of it. Now the True didn't do that, but the True is a different type of finish. That finish seems more in the steel than on it, if that makes sense. But between this one and the True, if I had to do it, I would rather spend the extra $5 and go with this one. The sheath is better all the way around than the True, but to me, this would be something that you would get that you plan on using every weekend or something like that. This is too good a knife, in my opinion, to just throw it in the glove box of a truck and leave it and only pull it out if you need it. That would be better suited toward the True knife. So definitely well worth the money of $50. They make these, I think, in, I want to say S35V. They make one in VG10. They make a San Mai version. So you can get very extravagant with these. I think the S35V version is $200. So there's a big jump in price there. But definitely in the SK5, it is worth the $50 price range. And I don't think you'll be disappointed with it. The handle's comfortable. The steel holds an edge. The finish, leaves a little to be desired, but overall, definitely well worth the $50 price range. Would be a great starter knife if you're new to bushcraft, camping, that kind of stuff, and wanted a good, dependable knife that wasn't going to break the bank. This would be a good way to go. But there we go. I'll get another one up for you here soon. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you.